Our fans, hello and welcome back to episode number 25 on the Stevenage Football Club podcast. Again, episode 25 of season 7. We're sitting here, we're coming to the end of November. I really want to say something now to really piss Andy off. Would you like me to say it, And?
I know what you're going to say.
We're back
So,
after that brilliant point yesterday.
yeah, there it is. There it is. Far from brilliant.
I knew that would make him go red in the face. I knew it would. And that's how Justin Fields feel at the minute that Tyrod Taylor's starting today. That's the same feeling.
Is it truly?
I don't know.
Did he have to watch a 90-minute shower of shite
Do
in
you know what?
pouring rain?
Do you know what? I'm not that annoyed with it yesterday, and I'll explain my opinions later. And you've got to look at the bigger picture, right? Win Tuesday, we can go top. Draw Tuesday, we can go second.
Although saying that, Adams Park is notoriously tough to go, isn't it?
Oh no! Oh no!
We're
Oh,
coming back, boy.
sorry. Who played there yesterday? And just remind me again.
Nice prime Barcelona. Oh, sorry, the Imps.
Oh, Lincoln.
Sorry, Lincoln. Yeah,
Let's have a look.
yeah.
Let's have a look. So we are a point behind with 3 games in hand. Ooh.
It's funny that we've still got games in hand and still a point behind, yet he liked to give it large when Stockport lost on Thursday.
Sorry,
Strange behaviour, if you ask me.
how is this taking just 2 minutes to be going on Jake again over Lincoln? God's sake. God's sake.
Let's just let them know, remind.
How are you, Ad?
Um, well, I'm better than watching after
Don't
not
say.
having to rewatch that nonsense yesterday.
I loved it.
But
I loved it.
yeah, of
I
course you
loved
did.
it. I loved it.
Um,
Football. I loved it, mate.
no, it was good to be back. Um, but yeah, bit cold, bit wet. Struggling to walk today after a big gym sesh yesterday with Jake and Reese, and yeah, thriving as they say, and won't be at Boro now for a couple of weeks, so a little break.
Yeah, do you know, it was pretty cool being back yesterday, actually. For me, like obviously going to New York, and then, having the break. And then, do you know what? Since coming back from New York, I've been really enthused about I was before, but like I'm really into it. And I'm like full steam ahead, rest of the season. It's such a massive season for us for setting up the next few years of being a top League One team. And I'm proper on it, man. And it was great to be back. It was great to be back at, well, I say the Lamix, not the Lamix anymore, but you know what I mean. Back at the club and seeing the players again, seeing all the regular faces, and because it's been 2 weeks, it's been quite a long time that we haven't seen the team play. And yeah, it was just great being back. From the MetLife to Boro. Yeah, quite a transformation in 2 weeks, pretty much. But yeah, it was good being back. It was great, and got it now every week. I know we've got that little break in December again when the FA Cup's on, but pretty much we've got a lot of Saturday to Tuesday matches now over the next kind of couple of months. It's great that we're back and we've kind of kicked it off again. Joining us on the pod tonight, debuting on the pod. Now you would have probably seen this individual all over TikTok, because he does love producing some TikTok content over the team and the football club. Stevenage Luca, he's known on TikTok, but today he's just known as Luca. Luca, mate, welcome onto the podcast. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks, Matt. Hope you're well. Thanks for having me on.
No, mate, absolute pleasure. Really quickly, mate, before we get into all of it, the TikToks, you've got to tell us about them because they're everywhere. They're really good.
Yeah, they're going well. I mean, it's something I've started quite recently, actually, especially after a lot of people giving me advice to do them. I was started doing them on Twitter and Instagram, just some written stuff, and they started getting some traction, started going well, and I thought I'd show a bit of myself as well and just say what I wanted to say as well.
Yeah, I liked the match yeah, because you started with like the match previews, didn't you, on Twitter this season? They were good.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do them. I think this season I've set myself the task of doing something for every game, and yeah, they've been going really well, and I've been really enjoying doing them. So I feel like no one's really doing it, and I feel like it's something that should be done for the club.
Love that, mate. Yeah, and again, the TikToks are good. I like the analysis, and and all of that. And I tend to find as well with TikTok, it's like the newer thing to do now, isn't it? Obviously, you've got YouTube, but everyone's on TikTok. And there's a lot of these people now doing those kind of like football reviews of their own teams and days out on TikTok. Do you know what I mean? A good one would actually be like a spend a day with you type of thing. Where you go to a match. That'd be something cool that you can include.
Would be, yeah.
I love that, mate. Love that. Well, the boys, only one place to start. It's got to be the thriller yesterday, isn't it? Surely.
We have to discuss it.
And why are you going redder than my League One polo shirt right now? I don't know why. Is it my reflection off your computer screen? I don't know.
It could be the reflection.
Jesus Christ, honestly. I was fine with this, boys. I know you two disagree, but I was fine with it. I was fine with it, personally. We'll go through it though. I'll go through the lineups, the statistics, and then we'll have a little bit of a chat. But as we know, almost felt like the season kicked off again yesterday, didn't it? After a 2-week break, which just felt like forever. We did play in our 14th League One match of the season at home against Doncaster Rovers. And again, I think we looked at these 3 matches as huge games for the team, because we kind of pinpointed that really the fact that we're, up in that top 6 and a lot of these teams are in the bottom 17, that there's a real opportunity to pick up a lot of points over these 3 games, and going into probably our most exciting month so far in December with a lot of the games that we're involved in, that we could potentially be up in that top 3 by December. It did end 0-0 against Doncaster in a truly torrid game of football. The conditions did not help that, as the rain really did kind of pummel itself down yesterday, and it just made for some difficult viewing, I think. And if you're a neutral yesterday, as a lot of people were, because there was that grassroots thing going on, it wasn't the most ideal game to come and watch. Let's have a look at the lineup for yesterday from the 0-0. Revs went with something a little bit different yesterday. And I think we said on the podcast, we're at that point now where, as you go through a season, you have to adapt and evolve, because teams do start to suss you out. You're playing, top level sides, top level players, and you've got top level managers in League One. And it's really, really important as you go through a season that you have that ability to change things and adapt and evolve. And I think that's really important. And Revs did do that yesterday. Philip Marshall stayed in between the sticks. Back line, Luther Wilding, Charlie Goode, Cole Piagiani, and Andy's favourite player, Dan Butler, came back into the starting 11. Jordan Atten and Harvey White kept their places in midfield, with Jordan Roberts, Dan Kemp, and Chem Campbell behind the middle striker of the Bez, who led the line at yesterday, something a little bit different. Again, from Revs, obviously, we had no Jamie Reid due to his injury in the international break, and apparently no Ghassan Ahmad, so it left us with the Bez leading the line in the middle of that forward bracket. On the bench, Tasby Hammond, Lewis Freestone, Phoenix Patterson, Jova Malcolm, Jasper Patterson. Louis Thompson returned to the squad after getting injured in the big opening day win away at Blackpool, and Jake Young as well on the bench in yesterday's 0-0 draw. The stats for the game: we had 43% possession to Doncaster's 57. We had 5 shots to Doncaster's 8. We only had 1 on target, along with Doncaster's 2 on target. Touches inside the box, we had 9 to Doncaster's 25. Both keepers made a save each. Aerial draws, we won 34 from Doncaster's 26. 26 fouls committed and 8 corners overall in the match. Some distribution stats for you all: we made 288 total passes to Doncaster's 371. Backward passes, we made 35 to Doncaster's 44. Forward passes, we made 148 to Doncaster's 167. Total long balls, 79 to Doncaster's 73. Successful final third passes, we made 57 to Doncaster's 60. And total crosses, we had 17 to Doncaster's 21. Some defensive stats: we made 22 challenges to Doncaster's 7. Fouls committed, 10 for us and 16 for Doncaster. And there were 3 bookings overall in the match. Now, look, obviously, people are going to say that, it was a real torrid afternoon, and it was, not our finest performance this season. I think there was mitigating factors to why that was the case. I really think the conditions really played a horrible one for both sides yesterday, and I think it was difficult for both sides to really kind of find their groove in the game. And I think we certainly kind of suffered that. It's a point. It's a clean sheet, still unbeaten at home, and it is a result on the board. I know you two feel differently. Who wants to go first about it?
Luca, far away.
I love the way Anne's leaving his segment. Go on, Luca. What did you think?
Uh, I mean, it looked like one of those games where no one wanted to be there. I think. I mean, players, fans alike. I mean, it was one of those games where I think I wanted to leave midway through. That's how bad it was, from my opinion. And I've never felt like that. But I thought a lot of the players, not everyone, definitely, but I thought a lot of the players looked a little bit disinterested by liking, I think. And I think certain players probably needed to step up a little bit more. But I thought the conditions were, I feel that they definitely played a part, didn't they? I mean, it was an afternoon where everything wasn't going to be, nothing was going to be easy whatsoever. And it's just one of those ones where I feel like we just needed to try and get through it somehow. But it's still a point, and we didn't lose. And we go into Tuesday, and we know we need to improve. But I definitely think it was just an afternoon to forget, really.
Yeah, I think that's fair, isn't it? I think it was difficult, wasn't it? Because, like in my opinion, I think the conditions really played an honourable part for both sides, and I just felt that it really did kind of ruin us a little bit. And again, maybe 2 weeks off kind of played its part as well, potentially. I'm not too sure, but it was, yeah, just a horrid afternoon. I think for me, it was just the chance creation bit. And I know that that's been a statistic of ours this season that hasn't been the best. All the other statistics, defensively, I thought yesterday we were brilliant. I thought Charlie Good was fantastic yesterday. I thought Philip Marshall in goal was brilliant. I thought, do you know what I mean? I think defensively, absolutely solid, watertight. I mean, when you have a look at just 11 goals conceded in 14 games, the best in the league, fantastic. But that attacking element yesterday, potentially with the conditions, we played the wrong way with those players, and we did get a little bit unlucky. We're without Reedy. Obviously, I know we've got our opinions on Gas, but no Gas as well. It leaves us kind of short in that area of the field, and I think that really showed. And what was your kind of take on the 0-0?
Not very good, I'll be honest. I think you look at it and you go, it reminded me of last season a lot
What? No,
with Brett
no,
at the back.
no fist bumps at full time for the point, though. No.
No, my hands were firmly in my pocket, let me tell you. That's
Mine
for
weren't.
sure.
Mine weren't.
I wonder why.
So,
No, it reminded me of last season a lot. Defensively, fine. Going forward, we just looked like we hadn't played together. There was no patterns of play. There was no. It looked very just scrambled together. It didn't look like we played together for a long time. And in a sense, we haven't played together because we've not had a match, but we've still been training. We've probably had inter club games, training games. So there's still moments where we would have worked and stuff. So it's just little things that I just think didn't go right. And look, we knew it was raining. We knew it was windy. So why on earth did we just consistently decide to go with, yeah, punt it long?
now, I agree with that. I agree with
It,
that. Yeah.
it, it, one point, I think we played a passage of play from Houghton into Kemp, and then Kemp out wide to Roberts, and Luther was on the overlap, and it stayed on the floor. And I'm like, so we can do it. Why do we insist? And it was the same at Reading. You saw Doncaster go long, and we went, oh, we'll go long back to them and give them the ball back. Just keep the ball on the floor. We've got the quality of players in the midfield and the final third to do it. And with all due respect, whether we play Jovan, the Bez, Reedy or Jake Young up top, is there any point in punting the ball long? No, there isn't, because they're not going to win that many headers against 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" centre halves. Even the gas doesn't win it, but that's another story. Keep it on the floor, and we get through. And you saw it when we did keep it on the floor. We broke through them so easily, and I was like, great. And then we get to the final third, and then our last ball just went down the pan.
Well, I tell you what I noticed, right? I don't know if you boys thought the same. So like, I'm with you. I felt with the conditions that bad, it would have been really key to get that ball down and keep that ball. And I know that it was a real horrid afternoon, but playing direct wasn't the way yesterday. And when you've got players like Dan Kemp in the 10, who, me and my dad said at half time, Kemp ain't touched the ball in the first half. He's in that 10 role to get on the ball and create and kind of transcend us from that area of the pitch to the forward area. And he didn't touch the ball. One thing that I noticed, I don't know if you boys noticed it as well, was when Phoenix Patterson came on, we started to play football. I don't know if you noticed that at all. He came on with like 20, 30 minutes to go, and all of a sudden we started passing the ball. That was a bit like, why didn't we just do this from the first half? It was almost like Phoenix just completely changed the way that we played. It was very odd. And it was a bit frustrating because it was like, if we'd have played like this from the start, we would have been able to kind of retain the ball a bit better and create a bit better. And that seemed to me in the last 20 minutes that actually we did improve some of the football. But again, not really anywhere near the level that we should be playing at. And again, I think there's mitigating factors with conditions and stuff like that.
Shall I be honest?
Yeah, go
Shall I
for
be
it.
honest? When you're playing a team like Doncaster or anyone in the bottom six, Phoenix Patterson has to play because they're going to come and play a low block. There's no
Well,
point playing. The thing is, right? Don't get me wrong, Chem Campbell's a great player, but has he got the ability of Phoenix Patterson to go left, can go right? No. You play Phoenix Patterson in these games
I think for
because
me,
he
like,
commits defenders and you don't know what he's going to do.
I think for me personally, like I've said the whole season, like Phoenix Patterson has to play more. He has to play more. Like he has got this top League One level ability where he gets on the ball, he creates, he's unpredictable. He can go either way on either foot. He's that good. And when Phoenix plays, you notice an improvement. I remember when he came on against Huddersfield and he ran the game for 30, 25 minutes and we were brilliant in that period. And he should be playing a lot more, in my opinion, and I think that again was probably a trick missed in a game like that yesterday. I debate this with Reece Donnelly, but Reece went, Phoenix is great and all, but defensively, he doesn't offer you anything. And I'm a bit like, well, that's not what we signed Phoenix for. We signed Phoenix for his attacking output. We did. I know there's going to be games where you have to set up a little bit differently. Phoenix won't start in those games. But when you're at home and you're playing Doncaster, it'll be the same Tuesday or Wigan away, right? Those games, perfect for Phoenix. You can play Phoenix in those games. I think he should have been starting personally. I know Chem's a wonderful footballer and he's been really, really solid for us, Chem, but Phoenix, I kind of felt that was a trick miss not playing. I mean, what do you think about it, Luca?
The problem is, I feel like he impresses in some cup games, doesn't he? He's really impressed in the Virtu this season and the cup competition. Then he gets rewarded a start in a league, and if he doesn't play to the level he's shown in the trophies, he gets punished for it, I feel. And then he gets immediately dropped. And a player like him, how good he is on the ball, his quality he provides on the ball, I feel like he just needs to run a game. He hasn't been given that this season in the league, and it's not like Sam Campbell's been incredibly good for a run of games. Really, I feel like he deserves more game time in terms of more starts in the league.
It was clear to me yesterday that seeing Chem get hooked at 60 minutes was quite a statement for us. Do you think Phoenix will play a lot more this week?
I think he deserves a start. I think he shows more when he's on the ball. I mean, at least he's taking his man on and asking him the question yesterday. He was doing that a few times, and that's what I feel like we need, especially against Peterborough on Tuesday. Well, they're high on confidence. They're playing against a winner like Cam Campbell, who you saw yesterday wasn't really getting the ball much. He wasn't really driving forward past his man, doing his game really at all, I think you probably do start Patterson in that game for me.
Going to shout some players at you boys. Just want like a 60-second observation on each player. And I'll start with you. I was really, really impressed with him. Philip Marshall, as he's known around these parts, Philip Martial or
No,
Martial with a silent T. And
solely by you, by the way. He's known as only
observation.
by you. No, brilliant as always. There was one moment that he made a one-on-one save, I think, very big, made himself big. So yeah, that was really impressive. And then he did what he had to do. There wasn't a lot for him to do, but anytime he was called into question, he was absolutely fine. I think there was a moment where he cleared the ball and maybe didn't quite get hold of it properly, and it stayed quite low, and Doncaster intercepted it. But apart from that, well, pretty standard performance for him, if I'm honest.
Luca, for you, mate. Luther Wilding and Dan Butler. What was your assessment on both Luther and Dan in yesterday?
I think they didn't really think about how much. I don't think Luca had much to do. He had a few good moments, especially going forward where he was driving with the ball in attacking areas. I thought he did that well. I thought a lot of it came down Butler's side. I think he probably struggled a little bit early on with Luke Molyneux.
Mm.
He needed help from Chem Campbell a few times for that, but I thought Doncaster didn't really turn up, in my opinion. I don't think apart from that first maybe 20 minutes where they Philip Marshall had to make a good save, didn't he? Apart from that, I don't think they really had much to do defensively, both of them. So I think they were quite solid.
I think Dan Butler had quite a good game actually. I was quite impressed with Dan yesterday. I what I like about Dan in those home matches is kind of our attacking output, and what I mean by that, we've got that forward four. I say an excellent forward four. Obviously, yesterday was really really difficult with the way that we played in those conditions. But then you get that outlet from Lufa and Dan Butler either side of the pitch as well. So you got that nice balance. And I like Dan playing at home. He gives us that kind of alternative down the left side of the pitch to get forward and
I
get.
like how he's played this season, Dan Butler, because you've seen a new dimension to him where he's calmer on the ball, especially. And I think like from Blackpool, I was really impressed with him on the opening day. How when he's receiving the ball, he's not just giving it straight away, and he looks calmer. He looks more solid defensively as well.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree. Yeah.
and yeah, I think he's been much better this season. I like and I'm not the biggest fan of him at his time at Borough, but yeah, I think he's been definitely much better this season in terms of his all-round game, definitely on the ball and defensively. Been really impressed with him, to be fair.
And smirking there. Look, he loves that, doesn't he? Oh, someone's got the same opinion as me. Sorry, Ad.
Finally found someone that agrees with me. Taken me a while.
You're not going to get it from me, Ad. Put it like that.
No, naturally, you love everybody.
Oh, I do. They're like my brothers. I love them. I love every single one of those lads.
Yeah.
Including Marlon Beresford as well. He's in that.
Why?
Why not? We're a family. At the end of the day, Ad. We're trying to become a top half League One team in the most important season. Come on, Ad, we're sixth. Come on, Ad. Sixth
Yeah.
place. Go top
Great.
Tuesday. And Pigeon Good. Observation on those two.
Won everything that they had to win, whether it was in the air, whether it was on the floor, big tackles, big blocks. Again, it was a weird one because Doncaster seemed to like going long. When they figured out that we had set up in such a way that they couldn't beat our press, all they had really was going long. And yeah, I mean, anything in the air, they just won it. And that's what you get from them too. You know what you're going to get every week. Obviously, we've now not got Pidge on Tuesday, so it'd be interesting to see if we go Sweens or if we go Freestone. I think you look at the game where we played Luton, Sweens and Good worked really nicely together, so wouldn't mind seeing those two play together. But again, wouldn't mind seeing Freestone play with Good. So, it's a tough one to call for Tuesday, but I think both of them were just brilliant.
Yeah, I thought both were great. I thought Good was one of my man of the matches. Thought he won everything again. Goody's been one of my players of the season this season, and big season for Goody. He wants to get back playing to that level that he was once playing. Yeah, pitch getting booked. Mrs. Tuesday. Do you know what? I don't know where he was just. I'd like to see Sweeney play personally. I think Dan Sweeney. Whenever Sweens comes in to cover for a player, we did it this season when we beat Luton. He always comes in and performs Sweens, and I think Goody and Sweens together would be quite a good little partnership to play Tuesday at Peterborough. But really solid again. Into the midfield, Luca, Jordan Houghton and a half. Obviously, Jordan Houghton went off. We saw Louis Thompson come back. First match back since the big opening day win at Blackpool, where he got injured. Thought Louis had a great game. What was your kind of assessment on, I say, Harv and Jordan, but obviously Louis as well for playing, I think, 60 odd minutes?
Well, I think the last few weeks, I don't think Jordan and Harv have really been themselves. I think because they're definitely how we function. They're so crucial to how we play, and especially as our form's kind of deteriorated. I think it's been the main reason, and that's been the way they've been playing. I think Jordan Houghton isn't at his best. I think that doesn't really. Harvey White needs to when Jordan Houghton is not playing well, you've got Harvey White who needs to kind of work off that as well. And they both need, if one plays well, so Jordan Houghton isn't operating as he doesn't really allow Harvey White to be as progressive, as expansive as he has been this season, the way he contributes, I think. So I think yesterday, obviously, you didn't really see much of Houghton. I'm not sure what his injury was really, but I think
Looked like a groin, I think.
yeah,
I
it
think
was really just he just went down, didn't he? Wasn't
yeah.
really
I think
sure
it
about
was
it.
up in the inside of his leg. I think he was holding his groin, I think. He felt tweaked
Yeah,
groin.
but I think he's him not really being himself. I think just doesn't really allow Harvey to be as brilliant as he has been. Um,
mm.
but I agree. I definitely agree with Louis Thompson. I thought he was really, especially his first game back since the opening day. I mean, I thought he did really well to come on as immediate as he did. He did really well.
Do you know what? I think, especially in a game like yesterday was with the conditions, when you've got Harv and Jordan, they're kind of two players that, how do I say it, wouldn't really be suited to that kind of style of game. But Louis Thompson is, because Louis does win his battles and he gets you the ball back and he does all those really important things really well in a game like that yesterday. So I actually felt that it suited Louis Thompson better than it did those other two players. So I actually think when Louis come on, you saw how good he was in a game like that. And I agree about Jordan. I think look, Jordan is, one of the most experienced players in this squad, if not the most experienced, considering he's played championship football. And I think in certain types of games like yesterday, you're not going to see Jordan Houghton at his best. And this is why, actually, I think it's really important having Louis Thompson back now, because I think Louis gives us that different style in there. Because Harv and Houts are similar in respect that they want to get on the ball and they want to distribute, but Louis gives you that. It's a bit like Dan Phillips, isn't it? Dan Phillips gives you that aggression as well and that kind of want to go and win the ball back. And I think Louis gives you that. So I'm over the moon, Louis, but I think he's a big player. And you know what, actually? I think Louis Thompson is perfect for the next two games. I think against Peterborough and Wigan, he's the perfect player to have in that midfield actually against those sides. So I'm really happy he's back. I'm gutted for Houts. Hopefully it's nothing too bad and it's just a tweak and he's out for a couple of weeks. But I'm really happy for Louis now that he gets a chance to come back and play football straight away. And the three attackers, Kemp, Jordan Roberts, and Chem. And obviously, Chem obviously was switched with Phoenix, etc. And there was a bit of a change up there. But your thoughts on those initial three starting?
You see those three starting and you think, well, it's going to be creation galore.
Oh, wow, you've got closer, Ant. Hello, Ant.
I've had to relocate to get my laptop on charge.
I love that. I just come back to the screen and just see Ant there like that.
No, I think when you look at the team sheet and you see those three, your initial reaction is, well, we're going to be creating loads, getting at them, using the channels well. And we just didn't. I think Kemp struggled to get into the game. That when you play Dan Kemp,
and I said it earlier, when you're playing Dan Kemp, there's no point hoofing the ball long because then that doesn't suit his game. His game is on the floor in the little pocket between the defense and the midfield or the midfield or wherever it may be, and that's where he works best. There's no point booting it long and hoping he's going to win a second ball isn't really going to work. There was moments where there was a few passes that were going towards him, and he just didn't make that move to go and get the ball. He kind of just sort of flung his arms up in the air, which I'm not a great fan of, I'll be honest. And then Chem was quiet. Jordan Roberts was out of the game first half. Second half, he grew into it a little bit, but again, it, Jordan Roberts is a weird one because we've called for him to start playing, and he started, and now you're looking at him and you're going, well, what? You shouldn't be starting because you're not up to the level. You're not playing to your level. You're not playing to your ability. You seem like a yard, 2 yards off what you can do, and it's just very strange. Um, so I don't quite know what's going on there. I'll be honest. And then Phoenix came on, and I thought he had some endeavour about him. He committed his defender. He tried, and I think there was a ball that got put into the box, and no one went up to go and went up to try and get the header. No one gambled at making a run into the box to try and win the ball, and that was the disappointing thing for me. Really, there was no. It just felt there was a lack of desire to go and get on the ball when the ball was in the box.
I think you could tell they were off it from about 10 minutes in. I thought like you could see from the get go that Robbo, his touch wasn't there. He didn't look like he was, you know, asking for the ball at all. He didn't, as you said, the desire didn't look like it was there immediately. And I thought as well, when you've got Dan Kemp playing there, one of the best in his position in the league, we just don't play that sort of game. We didn't play it yesterday. We just, as you said, just hoofed it long, and that's not what his game is. He couldn't get on the ball at all, and it's not giving it to him. So.
Well, that's my point. I think when you've got players like Dan Kemp, yeah, even Chem to some degree, although I know Chem's a bit more of a battler than say Phoenix, but you have to try and get the ball down and play a bit, and especially when you got those players on the pitch. So I think that was evident for me. We just played the wrong way. And again, don't get me wrong, I thought the conditions played a real torrid part for both sides, but it was very apparent that we just probably played the wrong way in that type of match. And I do agree about Jordan Roberts. I think Jordan Roberts is brilliant. I think he's a really important player. But I think there's more to come from Jordan. I just feel you almost want to shake him, don't you? I feel Jordan is such an important player, but I feel that there's more that he can give Jordan. And it's interesting now, isn't it? Because you look forward and I think we're all saying, please start Phoenix Patterson Tuesday or next Saturday. Please start him. Revs has got some tough calls to make now with who starts. I still would like to see Jordan Roberts start because of his experience, and maybe you could go Jordan and Phoenix on either side with whoever's fit and available through the middle. But yeah, I want to see better from Jordan Roberts because we know that he's better. There's no reason why Jordan Roberts can't go and score goals. I know he has done this season. He's only done it on 1 to 2 occasions, but why can't Jordan Roberts be somewhat of a player that can go and score 10 goals or 8 goals in the season? Do you know what I mean? In his position,
Yeah, well, he's always been my favourite, Robbo. I've always had that since he's been brought in. I've always loved him for what he's done. But he can be so frustrating, can't he? Because especially saw times like Saturday where he's just not in the game at all. But then you have other times where he's absolutely unplayable, and he's literally he looks like one of the best players in the league. And you can see, I always say with Robbo, you can tell from the first 10 minutes what type of game he's going to have. Like yesterday, you see that 10 minutes, he's not really going to be in the game. It's not his type of game. And he looks disinterested. But then you switch it and you go to a game where he looks really on it. There's desire. There's everything there. He looks like he's going to go score a hat-trick. He looks like he's going to tear apart the opposition. We just don't see that often enough in a season. We probably see it like a few times in a season. And that's what's frustrating with him, I think.
It's really funny because when he was being kind of deployed as someone off the bench, you saw that. in that like 10, 20-minute period. You know, when he scored, he'd come on and scored, and there was all that passion, and he was brilliant for that. But then when you start him, it's been different. It's really on. Obviously, I know that the different games against different teams, but yeah, I agree. I think you can tell early on which kind of game Jordan is going to have. I really want to see him just get better and just be better. You know, in these next couple of games coming up. Luca, the Bez, observation on the Bez in that middle role yesterday.
I mean, I don't think it was the sort of game suited for him, really. I think he tried and he tried. I think he was one of the only players that was showing that real desire early on to try and do something, but nothing was working really. And the pairing that Doncaster had dealt with him really well, and I thought he was just feeding off scraps when he up there, and it was hard for him.
Why have I got this feeling that the Bez is like going to scramble one in on Tuesday night?
I want him to.
Oh, Bez, just do it.
To put on top.
You say this every week. Every week.
He does.
I've heard this since the beginning of the season. Oh, Bez is going to scramble one in the next game, and he's nowhere near it.
You leave the Bez alone.
Outside the goals.
You leave the Bez alone. I thought he was solid in that first 45 minutes yesterday. I thought he, I thought he did loads of good things. You know,
I like him though. He's been a bit inconsistent, I think, but he has showed how good he can be. Like I think, his performance away to Orient definitely was a standout for me.
Yeah,
because he just shows everything: his hold-up play, his technical ability, how he can just link up with players as well. I think he showed that really well. But yeah, I think it wasn't the type of game for him yesterday, and he couldn't really get into it, I thought.
The substitutions from the match, and this will be the last thing we talk about before we look ahead. So the subs that was obviously made yesterday, obviously Louis Thompson coming on for Houghton, but Phoenix Patterson 64th minute, Jovan Malcolm 76 and Jake Young 76. It was a weird one because Jovan went out on the right, and I was a little bit confused about that because, you know, Jovan's typically been playing through the middle, although I do remember at Wimbledon in a trophy, he was somewhat deployed out wide and the gas was in the middle. But yeah, it was kind of like, what was it? Jovan on the right. Was he Young on the left? I think, wasn't it? And then...
Yeah.
No, it was Young through the middle, I had it as.
Oh, yeah, because Phoenix would have been on the left, wouldn't he? So Youngie through the middle. I thought Youngie come on and work really, really hard. But again...
I think running style is elusive, though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it is. It is. But do you know the point I was going to make, right? And I think with our team, and again, what I liked about yesterday was Revs did try different things. And I think we're at that point in the season where that's really important and really key now. We have to have that adaptability to be able to play different ways, different players, different systems, because again, teams will suss you out in this division. And you're seeing it in the league. I mean, when you have a look at some of the results on the weekend, you know, Wickham beating Lincoln, although Wickham are kind of climbing up the division, Dan's laughing at that. But I think you have to have that adaptability. And I did like that yesterday. One thing that's clear for me is without Jamie Reid, we don't have that top striker through the middle. I mean, Gas, I like Gas, but I think it's very clear that that Gas just probably isn't at the level. I think Jovan Malcolm is a project, and I think potentially next season or the season after, you will see hopefully Jovan come into a Football League level player and a League One level striker. Jake Young, look, Youngie's great, but he just hasn't had a lot of game time so far this season. So there isn't really any real top striker to play in the middle of that forward line. And I know we have a lot of depth, and I know that we've got Chairman, we've got Phoenix, we've got Kemper, we've got Robertson, we've got Bez, but in that kind of spearhead position of the attack, we don't have another top striker to play there. It makes me think is Revs going to try and sign someone in January that can help there? Because I don't know what you boys think. I think our squad's great. I think the only thing we're missing is an alternative to Jamie Reid in that position.
I've actually got a question for you both.
Oh, and wow, we've had two questions from And in two pods. Go on, And. Excited for
I
this.
picked up on something in Revs' post-match interview where he said that the gas hasn't been available since Reading.
Mhm.
Now that we've got Jake Young back fit, and you've got Jovan, and we've got Reedy, and we've got the Bez, so we've got 4 players there I've just named that can all play through the middle. Do you think we will see any more of the gas knowing that we've got those 4 players? Jovan, I think, is a project, yes, but we can start blooding him into the team and into the league so he gets the experience and he gets the understanding of how we play and how tough it is in this league.
Mm.
I think Jake Young, I think he's gonna he I think we I would like to see more of him. I don't think we saw enough of him last year to actually go, yeah, he's brilliant. I think we just went, oh, we've got Jake Young. Oh, he's been really good today. Oh, he's not been very good today because he's not scored. If he doesn't play, he's never gonna get to the ability to go and score goals. I mean, when he did score goals, Wrexham, Bolton, Birmingham, the finishes were unbelievable. It was the intelligent runs, it was the movement. Do you think? I don't think we're going to see the gas as much now,
What
thankfully.
do you think, Luca?
I think his miss away at Reading, I think summed him up really. And what we probably have seen and what we're going to see from him in the future. I think definitely I'd take all the strikers you've named. I think I'd take over him to be honest, because you've got Jake Young. You've said has been unlucky. I think what he's been really shown scored some really good goals last season, and I thought he was utilised too much on the left wing last season. He's an out and out striker through the middle. And then you've got Giovanni, I think obviously hasn't really been given many opportunities. That was probably his biggest opportunity he's been given in the league on Saturday. But then in the trophy, I think he's been really impressive. And then obviously there's the level. We know what he can show. He's been consistent. And then you've got Reedy. So I don't think he gets ahead of virtually anyone, to be honest, of what he's shown.
I think so. For me personally, I think that um, when you look at the strikers and you look at that kind of forward line, and you go Reedy, you go Gas, Jovan, Bez, and Jake Young. Now, Jake Young, I think, is a brilliant, talented player. I think that Swindon Jake Young was great. And oddly, had that partnership with Kempy, didn't he? But he was brilliant and he scored some good goals for Swindon at a decent level. And I think there were many times last year where Youngie showed really good signs and scored some good goals. And I think with Youngie, he's got very unlucky getting injured this pre-season because I think, for me, right, and you could probably say this out the whole squad, but I think coming into this season, this was a big season for a lot of players, and it was for Jake Young. And I think if Jake Young's got games in the bag, I think we would have seen a really good version of Jake Young this season. He's got unlucky with his injury, and you're probably not going to get that. You might do, and he might play a lot now to the end of the season, but I don't think you're going to see Jake Young play a lot in the season, given the depth we've got in the final third. I mean, when you look at the final third and you see Jordan Roberts, Dan Kemp, Chem Campbell, Phoenix Patterson, Bez, there's some good players there. And I'm not certain Youngie's going to be able to start a lot of matches against that kind of the depth that we've got in the final third. But to answer your question, and I'll be honest, I know that we've got the gas for a season-long loan. If it was me, right, I would look and I would go, well, we've got Youngie as an option now, who I thought worked hard when he come on yesterday. We've got Jovan, who is a bit of a project, and we're spending a bit of time with Jovan for the next year to try and, he's using this season to potentially try and kind of transition him from a non-league to a football league player, right? And the Bez you can kind of use in any one of those forward line positions. If it was up to me, I would actually send the gas back. I don't think we can. Don't know what the rules are on it. I would send the gas back and I would go and get a new striker in January, personally, to free up that position. I don't know if you can cut a player's season-long loan and send them back. I don't know if that can be done, but that's what I would do. And I would go out and get a competitive striker because I think, I don't know what you boys think, but for me, very clearly, and again, I know we've got loads of depth in that final third. Without Jamie Reid, there's no League One level forward there. There just isn't. I mean, Jake Young doesn't start, Jovan doesn't start, Gas doesn't start. You know, even the Bez, I know the Bez is decent, but the Bez doesn't typically start. So for me, you need, if you're missing Jamie Reid, you have to have that competition of another starting striker. Don't know what you boys think, but I just don't think we have that.
Well, we've just brought in a lot of. Go
on. No, sorry, I completely agree. I think the Gas is probably done. I think the game at Reading sealed his fate. If I'm honest, I don't think we saw enough of him in any of the games that he did play. Whether it was Orient, whether it was Lincoln, Reading, we brought him in to go and win duels and headers and hold the ball up. And I don't remember him doing any of it, if I'm honest. I don't remember him going to at Lincoln winning a header or winning a duel, keeping the ball so he can like play into Kempy and then he can let Kempy go and do his thing. He didn't do it at Reading, and that miss is just unforgivable. I'm sorry. Like, I think you'd give that ball to anyone else on the pitch, an out of form Jamie Reid, a Jovan Malcolm, a Jake Young, and they score that goal. That's how I see it.
Well, I don't know what you thought, but you know, when you were watching that on Sky, because this is what I thought. Did you have any belief that he was going to score that? Because I had no belief whatsoever.
I was. Well, you know me, I believe in all the boys, but I got to be honest, the one person you didn't want it to fall to. Look at the hands on the head from Anne, by the way. Sorry, that was me at Reading, Anne, wasn't it? Hands on the head when it struck the underside of the bar.
I think we've just seen this story too many times with strikers. But like in the last few seasons, we've taken too many gambles, I think, and it's all nearly players that haven't really, they're not proven, and we need to bring that proven player in.
And to go along with that, right? Really, the Gas is a League Two level striker. Really, I mean, you know, when you look at the Gas, he did really well at Cambridge, I know, but really, he's a League Two level player. The game that did it, do you want to know the game that did it for me? It was actually Lincoln, because we're playing in a top level league. That was, you could deem that a top of the table clash in terms of the positions we were in, right? It's a top level League One game, and he looked out his depth for me. He was giving away silly fouls. He weren't holding the ball up. You know, he was being marked by two very, very good players at the level. Sonny Bradley's pretty much a championship level player. And he looked out of his depth for me. And that was the game for me where I kind of thought the Gas isn't your League One striker.
I just think if we want to progress to that level as a top half team consistently, I think we've got to stop bringing in these types of players that are just gambles. We've got to be bringing in proven players that you know are going to get you a goal or two at least, and they're going to put in consistent performances that you see that they've done across their whole career. Because if you look at his career, he's had one really good season at Cambridge, hasn't he? But then all the other spells, they've been kind of hit and miss, and you think that's kind of really sums up the strikers we brought in, really, with, you know, Presley, Simpson, those types of players. They've all been nearly men.
Why do we always just sign the odd idiot?
We do.
You know what I mean? Like,
donkey, absolute donkey, as some people would refer him to.
No, but my point is, like, we always sign the odd idiot, don't we?
There's like a whole starting 11 of them now. You've got like Dane Oliver, Presley, Simpson, all of them.
You've just mentioned Dan's favourite player there.
Get him in.
What
Big
a baller he
back,
was.
100%. Get him in.
Hang on, where is he now? Isn't it a Hartlepool?
You know,
yeah,
legend.
Scoring goals.
No, not Big Vads.
Yeah.
You know what it was for me? I've never seen a striker who looked that big. It wasn't even it was the size of his legs.
He looked like he couldn't run properly. That's what I thought. Like,
he looks like a New York Jets linebacker. Vads.
Right.
I'm
most obscure.
Saying that, we could do with him at the MetLife, to be fair. We do need a big old brute in there like the Vads. But
what I liked about Dane Oliver was he actually gave it a go.
Yeah, he did. He actually put effort in. That's what you want.
Whereas you look at, I don't know, Gas, and he just lumbers around. And at least Dane Oliver did the shooting drill in the warm-up Then onwards, mucking around, passing the ball about.
I got to be honest,
Do your
Dan.
drill, man.
I got to be honest. I can't say that I particularly miss the lingering at the back post with the ball going over his head. I got to be honest. I don't particularly, the years whenever the ball got there. I don't miss that personally. But Gas for me, yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm
But
not.
my last, I'd say, favourite power striker that I have, apart from Reedy, has been his time. If we go back to Kane Hemmings, I thought he had a really good spell at us. I thought.
By the way, can I actually throw something in there? And actually, Luca, I actually agree with that. I think Kane's. I have this debate with a lot of people, and we talk about like the Luke Norrises and Danny Roses that we probably all know probably could have actually done the step. Although I know Danny Rose wanted to go back up north, Nos was injured. I actually thought Brandon Hanlon had a really good game against us yesterday.
Yeah, he was never that good for us.
He had a
Winning
very
fouls, running
You knew he was gonna
defenders
turn up.
ragged.
yeah.
He never was that good for us.
I know.
I remember him being that quick.
I said to my dad, I went, do you know what? I'd actually have him here as another alternative.
You joke. Me and Jake were saying, had he been with us, he would have been starting for us yesterday.
Yeah, no, that's a great point.
Without fail, he would have started. He would have started over the Bears.
Yeah.
Without doubt.
Actually, I don't know. The best.
Farley, get out.
I don't know about.
No.
I think you've overstepped the mark there, and I think the conversation came to a conclusive end when you said the Bez wouldn't have been starting. I don't think.
Idiot. Absolutely.
We will quickly go on the three-word analysis. Three-word analysis. We didn't get many, as you can imagine. We had sent in from Frosty. Is this Mick?
Yeah.
Okay, Mick. There we go. Mick said tired, dull, and torrid. David Valentin said let's try again. Duncan Ling said Steve Evans hoofball. Ray Cordell said we didn't lose. And Mitchell Holland, bring Evans back. Oh, come on, not this nonsense.
Yeah, get him in. Revs out.
Reminded me of
Anfield
that.
as assistant.
Stop it. Not with this squad that we've created. I'm back in Revs. We're sixth.
I'd love to see Bamford actually be like manager for a game.
Well, I mean, if Revs ever gets sent off, surely Neil Bamford.
Just because I want to see the interviews again, footballistically and all that,
Yeah.
He was wearing shorts yesterday. I mean,
Yeah.
wow,
Idiot.
what's going on there? Honestly,
My gaffer.
I love Revs. I just think this squad that he created for this massive season, and a top half League One team, and we're sick. And boys, by the way, look, I know we've got to win Tuesday, but winning with top after 15 matches, we're nearly half the way the season in, and we could be top of the league. It's wonderful. I talk about the league. We're going to quickly touch on it really, really quickly. There were some crazy results in the division. I know Andy's absolutely buzzing about a particular result that went down yesterday, aren't you, And? In the division. I'll quickly run through the games. Obviously, as we know, we drew 0-0 against Doncaster Rovers. Exeter and Burton were postponed because of that fire at St James's Park. Plymouth beat Port Vale 1-0 to go off the bottom. AFC Wimbledon lost 2-1 to Wigan, who we play next Saturday. Barnsley thrashed Luton 5-0. Bolton and Bradford ended 0-0. Orient and Blackpool ended 1-1. Mansfield lost 3-1 to Huddersfield. Cardiff beat Northampton 3-1. Reading drew 1-1 with Rotherham. And Wycombe Wanderers beat Lincoln City 3-2. Sorry, the fist bumps from Anne there. Unbelievable if you're listening on Spotify, the audibles. Those were the results. The league table. Look at us. Sixth, boys. Oh. I'm so happy. Let's go from the bottom. Bottom four, Port Vale are bottom. Plymouth are second bottom. Blackpool are third bottom. Peterborough United are fourth bottom, who we play on Tuesday nights. And we'll go from sixth upwards. We're tucked in there, sixth place, 27 points. Bolton are fifth, Stockport are fourth, Lincoln are third, Bradford are second, and Cardiff are first. Quick look on the league. Luca, what are you making of it? It's exciting, it's open, it's unpredictable.
Good, it's weird. It's a really weird situation, isn't it? Because you feel the last few weeks, all the form we've been having and the results we've had, and we don't feel like we're sixth. We are. That's the thing with the games in hand. But I think all it's going to take is one performance. So if that happens maybe on Tuesday or Saturday, I think it takes one performance that we've seen, at the start of the season where we've been solid defensively, and we offer going forward as well. If we have one of those performances, one of those wins, I feel like it will set us really good for the long term.
And results from the weekend table. I know you're absolutely buzzing that Lincoln lost. Hang on, isn't that Lincoln's? Wow, they've lost 5 games now, Lincoln.
Good teams don't lose 5 games.
Yeah, I'm having a look at the top. You giggling. The top 6, they've got the most amount of losses, Lincoln now. Yeah, what are you making of it, And? 6th place. Come on, And. 6th.
Keep performing like we did yesterday, and we won't be anywhere near that top 6 bracket. Let me tell you that much for free.
Do you know what? You've really pissed me off now. That's really done my head in now. You've rattled me saying that. You've absolutely. Who do you think you are to say something like that, Ad?
No, I mean, I think we saw it in the week when Peterborough went to Stockport and won, or Stockport, they played each other and Peterborough beat Stockport. There's no. Last year we had Birmingham and Wrexham in our league, and we went, those two will just run away with this, and it's going to be lights out and away we go from game week 1. We just knew what was going to happen.
Sorry, I thought I was tuning into Formula One on Sky Sports there.
Martin Brundle?
yeah. Lights out and away we go. What have you been watching, Ad? You ain't been watching the Vegas Grand Prix today, have you?
Not at 2:30 in the morning, I wasn't, no.
I bet you're watching the Ashes, though, weren't you, getting thrashed?
No, I was getting up. I was up at 6 o'clock yesterday, and I stuck it on and went, "Oh, maybe I should go back to bed."
Fucking useless bunch of idiots. Sorry. Go
on. No, I think there's no one in this league that's a standout winner. No. I don't look at the team and go, "That's the team that's going to go and win the league."
Well, the league table reflects that, right? I mean, let's go through it. From Cardiff, who are top, right, all the way to 12th. Is 6 points. I mean, we're sixth. We're 2 points off, right? I mean, the league, you can't predict it. I mean, it's just absurd. But I love that, and I think this is the most exciting division because of that. Like, nobody knows who's going to win it. Nobody knows who's going to go up. Nobody knows who's going to be in the playoffs. I think in League One generally, when you look at League One, you kind of get an idea. Okay, they're probably going to get promoted, and okay, they're going to be in this place, and okay, they're going to get relegated. You can't do that with this league, and this is why it's so exciting to be involved in this division. But be 6th, we're in that conversation, aren't we? And I think it's a wonderful division. Look, I can't predict it, man. I really don't know. I tell you one thing though, we're going nowhere from that top 10. I know what you said, And, about obviously the performance Saturday. And I really think Saturday, given the conditions, it was a one-off for us playing like that. I really do.
I think though, all we got to do is we just got to keep plucking at it. You just got to keep stable in this division. As you said, it's so hectic. You can't predict absolutely anything.
I think. Yeah, no. So sorry, I was gonna say, to go along with what you were saying, Luca. When you've got the defence that we've got, right? We've only conceded 11 goals. We've got the best defence. Just improve the output, and we'll start winning games nearly every week again. Do you know what I mean?
I've actually got a question again.
Oh my God, stop it. No. Sorry, I feel like with Anne, we should do a designated question round at the end of the podcast. And fire away.
So this is from a work colleague who, I've mentioned that I do this, and he was like, "Oh, I want to start listening." So I've tried to explain it in a way. But he wants
him for listening, hopefully, Anne.
He wants your view. How would you describe, when we've got the ball, how would you describe we play? Like, what pattern of play do we use?
Our style?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a mix, isn't it? So with our style, because of the squad that we've created and the fact that we've created a top half League One team with a lot of these quality players, we can play really nice football. And what you'll see us do a lot of the time, and you'll see it in almost every game that we play, we'll get into scenarios where we can work the ball from one side to the other, and we try to create openings to get the ball in the box, whether it goes to Phoenix or Jordan. Or so we have that about us. But we also have a direct approach as well, where you do see in games where we will be more direct than we do keep the ball. So it's a bit of a mix with us. I think we can play really nice football. I think we can get the ball wide and we can play good stuff, and we can get the ball into Kempy and create and play through. But we've also got the approach of playing direct as well, which realistically is actually brilliant because you can play both ways. But I think our style is a bit of a mix. I don't know if you agree with that, Luca, maybe?
Yeah, I agree, especially, with the squad that Revs has created this season. The squad he's moulded with all the different types of signing that we've made with the wingers, especially this season. It gives us a lot of different dimensions. And, I feel like we've got a lot of individuals in the team, especially Kempy, Patterson, they kind of have this sort of style where we can adapt to different systems in terms of the opposition that we play. I think we definitely got that wrong yesterday. But I feel like when you look at it, we've got lots of different players and we can play lots of different systems. And it gives us this new approach this season where I feel like we can do much better against teams we may not have done well last season. If you look at maybe on half teams, we really struggled against them under Evans and when Revs took over in his second third. But I feel like this season we kind of eliminated that when we beat Northampton, when we beat Wickham, some bogey teams that we had. I feel like, we're turning into a really adaptable team, and that's what's really good.
Let's look ahead, boys. There is an opportunity Tuesday night to go back top. And I think the mathematics show us that if we do win the game Tuesday night, we will be back first place in League One after 15 matches going ahead to another big year, Wigan. Now, again, we looked at these kind of 3 block of matches as massive games. We called them the biggest in terms of kind of solidifying a position in that kind of top 6 by December. It's a weird one, Tuesday, isn't it? Because we're 6th place. Peterborough have had a real shocking season, but they've been brilliant recently, Peterborough. They've had a new manager in Williams, who's a very good manager and has got them winning games. He's got them winning in big games, actually. When you beat Stockport 3-0, cracking win. I know Stockport were dreadful that night on Thursday. No Ollie Norwood, and it showed. But Peterborough have and are turning into a very competitive side, as Luke Williams wants to make them. It's a tough game. Look, I think we've most certainly got the quality in our squad to win a game like this. We've beaten a lot of these bottom sides this season. When you look at our 8 wins, in a lot of those 8 wins, we've beaten a lot of those bottom half sides. And on paper, you'd expect us to go and win and definitely get a result in this game. But it's a lot harder than people think, given Peterborough's kind of turnaround in the last 4 games. And biggie Tuesday night, I think for me, you're going to hate me for saying this, just get a result. What I don't want is to go to Peterborough Tuesday night and lose, because then people look at that and go, dear me, we've lost like 3 games in 5 now. Go and get a result. If it's a point, and I know you're going to hate me for saying this, then it's a point, but don't go and lose the game. Go play well. Let's get back to playing that top League One level as we've seen. Yes, we need a win. We haven't won since Luton in the league, and I think that's something that we just get a win. Just win a game of football, but get a result Tuesday, right? Because look, even a draw puts us second.
Yeah, I think after the first 10 minutes, we'll see what sort of game we're going to play. If we're going to play anything like yesterday, yeah, I'll bite your arm off for a point. If we go out and we play the way that we can play, and the way that we played in the first month and bit of the season, I don't see why we don't go and get 3 points. That's how I look at it. But we categorically cannot rock up to Peterborough and play like we did yesterday. And you've got to think, right, they've got a new manager in Williams, okay? Great manager. And they've had this new manager bounce. They're going to want that to continue. So we've got to, the first 10, 15 minutes, they're going to come out absolutely firing, be all over us. We've got to manage that storm. We can't let that get to us. If we let that get to us, game over. If we can see like we did at Reading within the first 10 minutes, yeah, it'll be game over, I'm afraid. And we have to learn from the mistakes we made at Reading and apply our learnings to this game and make sure that we weather the first 10, 15, 20 minutes and just see it through. And then we can get a grip on the game and play our football. And I think this is how I see it. Peterborough, notoriously quite physical. I think you need a Dan Phillips in there Tuesday night. Get someone physical. And even yesterday, to an extent, you saw it. We would lose the ball, and there was no like. It didn't feel like there was an urgency or a rush or any physicality to go and win that ball back. You put Dan Phillips in there, and he's going to be like, right, I've lost it. I'm going to go and win it back, and I'm going to take you with me. I'm going to smash into you. So next time it's coming again. And I think yesterday that kind of we kind of lacked that yesterday, that little bit of aggression. So yeah, that's how I see it personally.
So when we look at player for player, and again, Peterborough have massively improved under Williams. I hate terms like new manager bounce back, but it happens so many times. I mean, heck, we've seen it with us, haven't we? Evans that season when he kept us up. But players play for contracts, and it does have an impact in form. And it has done at Peterborough United. But let's look at this match player for player. So in goal for us, obviously Philip Marshall. In goal for them, they've got Bass in goal. Their back line,
goalkeeper.
Yeah, good keeper. Their back line, Kioso, Lees, O'Connor and Mills. Compare that to Luther, Good, Pidge, and well, obviously Pidge can't play. Let's just say Good, Sweens or Freestone and Dan Butler. Midfield for them, Collins and Woods, compared with Harvey White and, well, Louis Thompson, probably, because Jordan Houghton's, unless he has a quick turnaround, I don't think he'll be available. You then go the front three, Odo, Morgan and Lisby. I mean, you could compare that to Roberts, Kemp and Phoenix or Chem. And then up top, Leonard compared with Jamie Reid if he's available. Now, player for player, looking at this game, you would favour our squad, definitely, over this squad. But we know that football doesn't work like that. When I look at their team, I mean, again, there's no reason why we can't win this game, given the quality that we've got in our squad. What's something that's sticking out for me is they play exactly the same formation, 4-2-3-1, than we do. So it's going to be interesting to see if Alex Ravel matches that, or does he set up a little bit different? What are your thoughts on it, Luca? Would you like to see him set up different, or would you like to see Revs same formation and go at it player for player as such?
No, I definitely think that, especially Tuesday, I think we're desperately in need of some kind of performance that we're used to seeing when we win games like this. But I feel like he needs to definitely make a couple changes. He doesn't want to completely change it whatsoever because of the performance yesterday. But yeah, I definitely feel like he could change maybe Phoenix Patterson, as you could say, Louis Thompson should come in. But it's definitely a game. If you look at their team, and I know they've had a new manager bounce, but you can quietly ignore that. The team that we can be when we turn up against these sort of sides, we can just completely turn it around and put in a decent performance and just get a result. We've shown that we can do that away to Peterborough, and I feel like it's definitely something we can do if we put a good performance in. But it all goes off that type of performance in that first 10 minutes that we show.
Really big week for me. Again, Peterborough and Wigan, and we will discuss Wigan on the podcast after the match. We will be doing another pod this week, so we'll look ahead to Wigan then. But I think for me, really, really passionate about seeing us play this top League One level that we've seen over the first couple of months, 2.5, 3 months of the season. I just think with our squad, with our players, we've seen what we can do, and we've seen the performances. You don't win the matches we've won. You don't win your opening 4 matches and stay unbeaten at home and play the way that we did at Huddersfield and compete the way we did in the second half against Bradford. And, we've shown how great of a team we are. The way that we just dismantled and beat Luton. We've shown that we're a top team. So I think for me, big thing, get back to playing that level. I don't think it particularly matters in Revs playing a different formation. I just think he's got to pick it right. Really, we know that Pidgey's unavailable. He's suspended. Whether he goes Swings or Freestone, I don't know. Pick it right. I think Louis Thompson will play. I think that's a good player to play in a game like this, along with Harv. Give Phoenix a start. personally, play Phoenix, getting playing in a game like this against players like Peterborough. To be honest with you, I'd start Phoenix in both games, Peterborough and Wigan personally, but we'll wait and see who starts before the match on Tuesday to give us a better indication. And I know you said originally for this match, I'm just going to get it up, you went for 2-1 us. I went for 1-0. Are you still fancying the 2-1?
No, absolutely not.
No. Hang on, you're not going to change your prediction. I know we can't change it. They're locked in.
What was I thinking?
I went 1-0. Mate, I'm actually going to stick with my prediction. I think we will win 1-0. I think it'll be. Do you know what I think will happen? I think it'll be a
really, scramble it in or some sort of nonsense.
I think it'll be a really, really tough game again, and I think we'll find a winner. I think maybe Phoenix might go and win us the game, maybe with a bit of brilliance. But we've got to stick with your 2-1, and we've got to stick with my 1-0. Luca, I'm going to get yours. Luca, you're going to join our prediction competition because at the minute, right, for our match against Doncaster, Anne went 2-0, I went 3-0, so we got half a prediction correct. So me and Anne get 2 points. Luca, I'm going to give you 2 points so that you're level with me and Anne, so you can come into this competition. Luca, what are you predicting for Tuesday night's match? I'm going to add you in on the competition.
I'm going to completely switch it and just say something that would be, I think we're going to get back to winning ways. I think 2-1 us. I think it'll be one of those games where we could concede early.
Yeah.
There could be a few changes and I think we'll turn it around, but we're in need of a win.
Love that. And Luca's gone the same prediction as you. So you boys have gone 2-1 us. I've gone 1-0 us. We've locked those in. Let's see what the points throws up. We'll all start on 2 points. Let's see what it throws up for us on Tuesday night. I know that along with the competition as well, we did get somebody else join, our valid fan and supporter of the pod. Rich is in on the competition now. I was reading Rich's predictions earlier. I've lost them in front of me. I'm going to try and look for them again as I go through. But Rich did send in his predictions for the next 3 matches. So again, any Boro fans listening, if you want to get in on this competition, we're going to do prizes. We're even going to do prizes for last place as well. So please tweet us your predictions over these next 2 matches. Rich went Doncaster. He went Doncaster win 2-1 Saturday. So Rich hasn't got a single point, but then he's gone. Oh, hang on. Well, in Rich's predictions, he's gone Doncaster win 2-1, Peterborough win 1-0. But is he saying Peterborough and Doncaster win, or is he going us to win?
Us to win, I'd assumed.
Do you think?
He can't be that negative.
No, he can't. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. All right, let's just do it as so. He hasn't got a point for the first, but he's gone us to win 1-0. So Rich sent in, he's got 1-1 against Wigan. So Rich has sent in his predictions. Please send us in your predictions as well, guys, if you want to get involved with the competition. And have you got anything to add?
No, I'm just getting myself ready to go and watch the North London derby.
Oh, I'm getting myself ready to watch the Jets play. Look, flag and all, boys. Flag and all.
You surprise me.
Well, yeah, I know that's to be confirmed, isn't it? I thought you would say there's something to add. I don't know. I thought maybe there's an Andy question about or
no, just Tangy, that gap's closing, son.
Oh no, not again. But do you reckon Luca knows about this? Luca, do you know about this? So Jake Tong, our good pal, Lincoln City fan,
Yeah.
So him and Anne's got this little, competitive spirit going on. It's like every episode at the minute, Anne, isn't it?
Well, he likes to give it big, so it's only right that he can take some back when they lose.
You're good mates. You are. You're good. You're good pals. Guys, I think we've come to the end. We will do another podcast this week. We'll try to fit one in before Wigan, reacting to Tuesday's night. Big win or big point to put us top 2 by the end of November. Thank you for tuning in today on episode number 25 called Keep Calm. Because, yeah, we've got to keep calm, aren't we? I mean, we are sixth and, you know, I think we're going to be fine. But yeah, no, thank you for tuning in. Episode 25, Keep Calm, season 7 on the Stevenage Football Club podcast. Again, guys, go and give us a follow, like, and a subscribe on YouTube if you are watching us. A massive hello to all of you today. If you're listening on all the Audibles and Spotify, etc., please give us a little follow and a like on those platforms. Again, we'll be back this week reacting to Tuesday and looking ahead to Wigan. I do believe we might also have a Wigan preview episode coming out. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your support. We will see you this week. Have a great week. Go and watch the boys on Tuesday. And as always, up the Boro, guys. At this time, you've been listening to season number 7 and episode number 25 on the Stevenage Football Club podcast.